Hello students, I welcome you all to this ICT based teaching learning program. I am Kashish Nair and I would like to thank our director for giving us this great opportunity to create an e-content for our students. Coming upon to the module, so I am taking the module for semester 2nd students of fashion designing. It's their major paper on basics of apparel construction. Table of content. So these are the topics which we will be covering today. The learning outcomes, link to the previous topic, introduction, parts of sewing machine, care of sewing machine, summary, and references for all of you. So what are the learning outcomes after this module? After studying this lesson, students, you will be able to describe the basics of apparel construction. You will be able to describe the different parts of sewing machine. You will be able to explain how to take care and how to maintain the sewing machine. And with all of this, you will be able to apply the concept of sewing and make beautiful garments. Before studying this topic, you should be aware of the types of machines which are in the sewing industry. The very first machine is, as all of you know, the hand-operated sewing machine. It was used in the earlier times. So the key word for remembering this machine will be, it is hand-operated. The second one is the treadle sewing machine. So as the machine industry grew, from hand it came to foot. And so the key word for remembering what is the treadle sewing machine is foot. Next, as we all know, with technology, even the machinery is involved and came the electric sewing machine. The key word for remembering this machine will be the speed. That is, it is faster when we compare it to the hand machine and the treadle machine, and it works on electricity. The last machine which you should be aware of is the overlock machine. So this overlock machine is used for finishing the raw edges. A little introduction about what is sewing. So sewing is a skill and hand sewing is not viable every time. Initially it was only used for either embroidery or for the basic stitches. But when the garment industry grew with coming up of more complicated designs, it became important to sew on machines. Therefore, it is very important that we understand the need of different machines in the industry, and for that we should know the types and parts of machines. Lastly, as we'll be discussing about the care and maintenance of machine, so a good machine is required to obtain good quality product. Therefore, care and maintenance is very important. Understand the parts of machine, we'll be going one by one. The very first is the bed. So what is the bed? Bed is the base of machine on which all the other attachments are fixed. The next is the balance wheel. This balance wheel controls the operation of the machine. The next part we'll be discussing is the take-up lever. So the take-up lever is responsible for the movement and the flow of the spool thread or the upper thread. Next is the upper tension regulator. So as the name suggests, it controls the tension of the upper thread. Next is the needle clamp. So while working, it is very important that our needle is in place. So this needle clamp holds the needle in the position and therefore helping the fabric to be in place. Needle plate. Needle plate is the marking which guides the movement of the fabric. You can directly see it beside the needle clamp. The next part is the side plate. So this side plate, we can slide it out and the bobbin can be loaded or unloaded under it. Next is the bobbin winder. As the name suggests, the bobbin winder holds the bobbin in position while winding the thread. The next part which we will be discussing is the stitch length regulator. So as the name suggests, you can see stitch and length. These are the keywords. So This part controls the stitch length for normal stitching or for reverse stitching. Spool pin is the pin which holds the spool of thread. The next part is the pressure regulating screw. So it is provided on the top of the needle bar. It can be either tightened for stitching of finer fabrics or it can be loosened for stitching of thicker fabrics. Next is the feed dog. So you may see small teeth-like structures located under the pressure foot. This is the feed dog. It feeds the fabric during manufacturing and goes up and down in a progressive movement. The next part which we will discuss is the stitch with control. So this can be easily seen on fashion makers or on electric machines where zigzag stitches, embroidery stitches or any other fancy stitch can be easily made using the machine. The next is the needle bar. The needle bar retains the machine needle at its place. On to our next topic, that is care and maintenance of sewing machine. So what is maintenance? Maintenance is an activity to keep something in a good working condition. Mainly, it is divided into two categories. First is the corrective maintenance and second is the preventive maintenance. Now students, you have to take note here that corrective means maintenance which is required when an item has already failed or worn out and you have to get it back to its working condition. Whereas when we talk about preventive maintenance, it is conducted to keep the equipment working or to extend that life of that particular equipment. Now here are a few easy steps on how you can easily take care of your machine. The first one is keep the machine covered. The second is dust the machine before use. It is important because when you place the fabric should not get dirty. Therefore, always dust and clean the machine before using. The third point is it needs to be oiled weekly if it is used daily. This will help in the proper functioning of the machine. After oiling, wipe the surplus oil and then stitch on a paper or a rough paper, newspaper for a few times before placing the fabric. Next is if a machine oil dries up, in case your oil dries up, then you should be using only paraffin oil and never use coconut oil for machining. The last point is use needles of only proper sizes. So now let us take a summary and a quick revision of what we have discussed in this video. The first part we discussed was the bed, arm and the wheel of the machine. The next is the needle clamp, the needle plate, the slide plate, the bobbin winder. Bobbin winder is used to wind and hold the bobbin in place. The stitch length regulator, which helps you to regulate the size of your stitches. Spool pin, pressure regulating screw, the feed dog, that is the teeth-like structures present below, and the needle bar. Thanks for all of you for some further reading. You may go through these for your revision or for making notes. These are the digital suggestive platforms for your references. These are the references for making this particular e-content. Now, as we all have discussed the topics, let us now do a small assessment. So the very first question is, all of these are multiple based questions only. The first one is identifying the following part. So the part has been marked with a red circle. You have to identify the part. You will be getting 5 seconds. Keep an eye on the clock. Time up. So the answer for this is take up liver. Coming on to the next question. Small teeth which is located under the pressure foot which go up and down in a progressive movement is called. So your options are needle bar, feed dog, slide plate or bed? Your time starts now and time up. So the correct answer is feed dog. The third question is, which of the following part helps in giving zigzag stitches? The first one is pressure regulating screw, stitch length regulator, upper tension regulator, or balance wheel. Your time starts now and 5 seconds over. So what will be the correct answer? It is the stitch length regulator. Next question which we have is, if a machine oil dries up, which oil should be used? Your options are coconut oil, sesame oil, paraffin oil, or sunflower oil. Your time starts now. Time up. So what is the correct answer? It should be paraffin oil. And the last question here we have is, which type of maintenance is used to keep the equipment working or to extend the life of the product? Your options are corrective, preventive, hard, or remedial. You will get 5 seconds to answer this. Keep an eye on the timer and time up. So the correct answer is preventive. In the end, I would like to thank you all students for your patient learning, and I hope and believe that this e-content will help you in your last minute revisions. I would like to thank the ICT team as well as our director sir again for giving us this great opportunity. Thank you.